A lot of conditions have a number of different treatments you can try. Celiac disease, there's just the one though, right? You talked
Right.
about being gluten-free and that's the only way to go, right?
Yeah, a gluten-free diet right now currently is the only way to go. You have to totally remove wheat, rye, and barley from your diet. That is the treatment.
Easier these days because there are more options, but still I would imagine it's pretty challenging considering how much of that is in so many different products at the store.
Well, it's an education process. And as I was saying, 17 years ago, I had to get my food from Canada. Today, I can walk into a mass retailer. I was actually at the grocery store last night, and every shelf is calling out gluten-free, gluten-free. I mean, it's all over the store. Some people are grouping it, some of the grocery stores are grouping it together, and they call it a destination. But now throughout the stores, you can walk up and down the aisles, and gluten-free is being called out. So it's getting much, much easier. The other thing is we've partnered with a company called QAI, Quality Assurance International, where we have a certification. So there's a seal out there so people can look for the seal to ensure that the food is safe. So there's several, there are several seals, out to look that are independent and third-party certification companies. But the other thing is, and the FDA is moving forward on creating, we're working with the FDA with a whole group of stakeholders to define a standard and a threshold for gluten-free. Now back to the question, is it difficult? It's not the easiest diet to follow, but because gluten can be hidden. It can be hidden in things that you wouldn't typically think of. So let's pick
like what? Yeah, talk about
tea.
some of those things. Okay.
Okay, tea. You'd think, what could be in tea? Well, guess what? Barley can be in tea.
Oh.
So you have to read the ingredients on your tea. You'd say, what? Soy sauce is one of those
Right.
products that it's wheat-based. You'd think it would be based with soybeans. No, but it's wheat-based. So anything with soy sauce, you can't have that. If you're a child and you have celiac disease, in school they're going to be making Play-Doh. What do they make the Play-Doh out of? They make the Play-Doh out of flour. So again, at Celiac Central, we have a whole list of hidden ingredients, how to navigate your life, a getting started guide that are all free and to download so that you can get your life started. There's no membership fee. It's just download the information and get yourself started on a gluten-free diet. And focus on what the foods that you can have. So you can shop the entire perimeter of the supermarket, the fruits, the vegetables, and the meats. Focus on what you can have, and then learn how to navigate the diet.
So it's much more than just having to skip a loaf of bread, not buy a loaf of bread or buy gluten-free. I mean, it's in a lot more things than people would think.
Gluten is used as a binder and an excipient, and actually it's even used in medication. So it can be used in certain medications, it can be used in vitamins. Again, it's what can be holding the product together, and even imitation crab can have gluten in it. So if you're going out for sushi, that's one of those tricky, you think, oh, I'm getting crab, but if it's imitation crab, it can have gluten in it.
You mentioned going out to eat. How tough is that? We can go to the grocery store and find the products and do our homework there, but is it tougher when you go out to eat?
Well, when you go out to eat, it is tougher because there's a lot of cross-contamination, and especially in very busy restaurants, and that's why we created the great kitchen training program. It's gluten-free resource education and awareness training, where we're going into the restaurants nationwide and training them on gluten-free protocol. And so I like to give everybody an idea of like, well, what do you mean by cross-contamination? So if you have a jar of peanut butter and you stick a knife into the jar of peanut butter and then you spread the peanut butter on the bread and then you put the knife back into the peanut butter, you've cross-contaminated that jar of peanut butter. There's a whole labeling process that's simple to follow, but it may not be intuitive to the average school lunch program or to the chef training, or to a restaurant. One of the things they can do in a restaurant is they might be cooking pasta and then they reuse the pasta water. So it's a retraining that needs to be done, and you have to ask questions, and you really have to ensure that your restaurant or wherever you're going, your food establishment understands what gluten-free is and how to prepare it properly.